So we are back here on the Choose954 podcast, episode 35, with local artist Erin Bassett Artistry, here in her beautiful brand new studio in Mass District. If you didn't know about Choose954, we started a social movement to cultivate culture and community here in Barron County, where I'm from, in an effort to keep people in the know with all the great things that are going on and make this a better place to live and not just a better place of vacation. The point of the podcast is to connect you, amazing people like her, doing incredible things in the community. This podcast is sponsored by the Thousand Mermaids Artificial Reef Project, which is a public art, eco-art project to de-stress the natural reef, create ecotourism, and do a lot of great things for Fort Lauderdale. If you want to find out more, go to www.1000mermaids.com or send me a message. I'll be glad to fill you in. Without much further ado, why don't you tell us a little bit about Erin Bassett Artistry?
Well, I am Erin Bassett, and this is my artistry behind us and on me. So I do textile art, which means I make art using fabrics and textiles. More specifically, I love to use silk because it keeps its shape when I sculpt with it. Oh. So it's a heat set process that once I do the creation, I add heat to it, the silk will keep its shape.
That's the first time I've heard that.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you get started in your artistic journey here?
Well, I started in my grandmother's garage when I was 4 years old.
Okay.
So I started with drawing and painting. I actually went to college at the University of Florida.
Okay.
And I got my first degree in art in creative photography. And I was a photographer for about 10 years. And I started to get really sort of frustrated and bored with the rectangle. So I was literally thinking outside the box, and textiles kind of found me, and I fell in love with them, and I went and got my master's degree from the Savannah College of Art and Design in textile design, and that's how I found shibori, which is the name of the technique I use.
Okay, so you're the second SCAD graduate here, the curator of the Frank. Josh was a SCAD grad as well, so glad to have you guys.
It's a great school.
Yeah, for sure. So tell us a little bit about your current artistic practice.
Well, I sort of have a joint practice with my wall art and my wearable art. So I do mostly wholesale with my wearables. Okay. And I'm in 30 stores up and down the East Coast, and the Smithsonian catalog just picked me up for that.
Oh.
So yeah, yay!
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really happy about that.
Okay. Where locally in the 954 can they find you?
Well, right here in my studio.
Right. Any local boutiques or?
Well, the Museum of Art in Fort Lauderdale has my stuff.
That's
the
right.
Coral Springs Museum up in Coral Springs, and the Wiener Museum of Decorative Arts in Dayton Beach.
How about that?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're pretty up in the some of my favorite places.
Oh, great, yeah.
Kudos to you. So tell us a little bit about how your practice has developed from where was your studio at previously?
Previously, I worked solely out of my home, so the commute was really short.
And where are we at now?
And now I've moved to the Mass District here on 4th Avenue.
How about that?
Yeah.
What were some of the things and what prompted you to kind of make that transition and have a studio here in downtown Fort Lauderdale, Flagler Village?
It's something I've always wanted. It's been a dream of mine. I set a goal for myself that by the time I was 40, I was going to have my own working studio. And it really, I didn't think it was going to be in the cards this year, but the universe sent me an opportunity and I just couldn't pass it up. And it's the Mass Art District is the best of both worlds, right? So it's still very up and coming. There's tons of potential here, but it's also a well-established art walk.
Yeah.
So monthly art walks happen here all the time, so I can expose my artwork and my industry to a whole new audience here in the Mass Art District.
Beautiful. Are you from South Florida?
I am, born and raised. I started in Davie. I went to high school in Davie. I went to Nova High, class of 97, and and then I went to UF and came home, and then I went to travel a little bit outside my comfort zone in Savannah for my master's degree, and then came home again.
Great decision, though.
Thank you.
And I always love it when I find a fellow Broward native.
Yes.
So we know you Choose954.
Yes.
And you hit on a few really key points, and that was, why we wanted to have this conversation.
Yeah.
The Mass Arts District is still burgeoning. It is still growing and developing. A lot of people still don't know about it. You know, more and more people, I'd say, probably know about Fat Village. So with the Fort Lauderdale Art Walk, as we started doing last month and plan on continuing to do in the future, we're going to be leading a guided tour of the monthly Fort Lauderdale Art Walk, which takes place every last Saturday night of the month, beginning at 6 p.m. If you didn't know what the Art Walk is, the way I like to categorize it is it's our greatest community event of the month. It's one of the only times that 4,000 to 5,000 people come together over our shared passions of art, culture, food, music. It is the platform, not just for local resident artists like her, but for our local dreamers, doers, passion pursuers, entrepreneurs, craft makers, and vendors to come and showcase their work. Why do they come and showcase their work? Because they could pop up a tent, a booth, a 10 by 10 space for $55, $100, whatever the space is going for in the area that they want to pop up in, and that is where they can show their craft. Why is that important? Because these local dreamers and doers and passion pursuers, as you know from being an artist, oftentimes don't have the means and resources to commit to a 10-year lease in a retail space. So that is why we come together, amongst other reasons, for discovery and exploration to support our local artists and creatives one night a month. Hopefully we'll have more and other nights a month. So Choose954 decided to start offering a guided, curated tour of the Art Walk through Mass District and Fat Village. It was very well received last month. Almost everybody there was their first time at the Art Walk, which was really great. So I'm going to take people through it. And if you don't know, I'm Evan Snow, the co-founder of Choose954, Art Fort Lauderdale, Fort Lauderdale Art Design Week. So I know a thing or two about the arts locally and have built relationships with the artists. So I'm going to take you through, if you want to come, and introduce you to the artists, have the artists describe a little bit about their practice, a little bit about their space, and it's a little bit more of an intimate way to view and interact with art, to meet the artists. So I'm glad to bring you guys through to see her beautiful space here, which will take place the last Saturday night of every month, the next one being Saturday, April 27th at 6 p.m. We're going to meet in Mass District, which there's a bunch of free parking behind the Sears on Federal and Sunrise. This will all be on Facebook and Eventbrite where you can register. It is a free event. I put a suggested donation on there because I do run Facebook ads and take time out of my life to market it and stuff like that. So anything you give, we appreciate. If you have any questions, you want to find out more, don't hesitate to let me know. What are you excited about with the Art Walk?
Well, this will be my first one.
That's pretty exciting.
I'm pretty excited about that. I can't wait to meet the community and see what's happening. I mean, I think you touched on a lot of really amazing points here in Fort Lauderdale. 20-ish years ago, when I was a struggling artist in my early 20s, I always used to say there's not much of an art scene here in Fort Lauderdale, and it was so frustrating. And I'm so happy and so thankful that my hometown is really coming together, and I love your description of dreamers, doers, passion pursuers, and that's exactly what we have here. And I feel like the art community has really grown and really come together, and you're a big part of that. So this weekend, I'm going to be having events starting on Thursday. I'm going to do a preview party. This Friday is my grand opening. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then of course Saturday is the Art Walk, and again, I just can't wait to meet everybody.
Amazing. We'll link those in the comments when we post this on the social medias. We encourage you to come check it out. Just for comparison's sake, what does some of your wearable art go for? How much?
Well, these are my latest pieces. I just started doing earrings. I premiered them at a wholesale show last month, and they did really well. And they retail for about $150.
Handmade.
Handmade. I make them all myself. Everything in my shop is made by me. So hopefully, eventually, I can get a little bit bigger, but right now it's just me.
That's great.
And yeah, so I'm really excited. And this necklace is. Let's see, you're sort of putting me on the spot. I should know my prices, shouldn't I? This necklace is about $250.
Great. It's a great piece.
So, thank you.
So, you know,
you can mix and match, and I have smaller pieces and I have larger pieces depending on the kind of style that you like and what kind of statement that you want to make. They're super lightweight, so you can. They're made out of one piece of fabric, and I call them the statement necklace without the weight of the statement. And you can wear it all day long, and you won't even know you have it on.
Beautiful.
And I'm really looking forward to not just my grand opening and the art walks here, but I'm also looking to help other artists at this point in my career. So I'm at the point where I can have a space to show my art, but during the art walks, I am more than open to having other artists show and even using the space as a pop-up studio for other artists. So I would take my art down and let another artist come in and have the space for a month and be able to show their art as well. So I'd like to give back to the community also.
How about that? That's very nice.
Thank you.
Well, local artists, don't hesitate to reach out to Erin Bassett and myself. We're both open books, as you can see. You hit on a good point because, as we both kind of mentioned, not every artist can afford to commit to a lease or deposits or so on and so forth. And not every artist has the luxury of being able to create in their home studio or so on and so forth, certain extenuating circumstances. So this is really important because what we've come to find is local artists unfortunately have to go other places to pursue their craft.
Right.
And we won't get into all of the semantics of rising rents and with the boom of Wynwood and pricing people and artists out, pushing people north. Now people are unfortunately getting pushed out of the next neighborhood, which is Little River, which was formerly Little Haiti, and it's really only pushing them further north. Not getting fully into the semantics, but with the rents being at an all-time high in Fort Lauderdale and not looking to come down anytime soon, despite what anybody will tell you, it really is important to have affordable workspace for artists to create. So
it's super important.
You don't know this, but we haven't announced it yet, but we'll announce it now. Andrew and myself, my partner with the Unitas Group behind Choose954, are working with local real estate developers and local property owners on a project we're calling Zero Empty Spaces, where we're taking vacant space, commercial space, and activating it as artist studios at the bare minimum expense of utilities and a small administrative fee. We've priced out the first spaces that have been made available to us at approximately $1.50 a square foot.
Wow.
Which is
unbelievable.
And that's actually going to be on Las Olas.
What?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Mike Weymouth and Las Olas Company has agreed to give us 4 spaces to open up for artists. And we're really excited that we're able to make space available with walking foot traffic. And just beginning at Las Olas, we actually really wanted like the vacant, dilapidated, blighted warehouse spaces, commercial spaces, which we'll get to eventually. But we reached out to the mayor, Dean Transilis, who suggested that we reach out to Mike Weymouth. Mike Weymouth was, kind enough to believe in the vision, and obviously it's going to help activate his vacant space.
Right.
We're also hoping and planning to program an art walk on Las Olas, which my partner Andrew Martineau previously hosted many moons ago. So this all comes at a very pivotal time as Fort Lauderdale is redeveloping, as there's 20,000 condo units going up.
Yes.
People are going to need more things to do aside from drink and go to the beach. And we also have local artists and creatives that are going to need space and so on and so forth. If you have any questions about anything we talked about, what I just mentioned with Zero Empty Spaces, don't hesitate to reach out to me, Evan Snow, at Evan Snow 13 on Instagram, at Choose954, at Unitas Group. Where can they find you on social media?
My name, Erin Bassett Artistry, is my handle on Facebook as well as Instagram. And Instagram has been very good to me so far. So I invested in my Instagram campaign with a couple of local ladies with Ideal Marketing. Julie and Samantha were instrumental in getting me some great photos and a great feed. And I actually just got I've been really fortunate with my clients, my wall art clients as well as my necklace, my wearables. But through Instagram and through some South Florida hashtags actually, I was found by an art agency and I received a commission for a piece of wall art that's going into the Bellagio in Vegas.
What?
Yeah.
How about that? Power of the internet.
So, yeah, power of the internet, but also the power of local artists. So
Amen.
yeah, we're gonna have a local South Florida artist all the way out in Vegas. So
Well deserved.
thank you.
Where else have people seen your artwork in exhibits, galleries, or art fairs?
I've done lots of art fairs around. I had mostly temporary pieces. I did have one in an installation in the Chamber of Commerce in Fort Lauderdale. Through lots of other shows, and I travel all over the country doing that. So I've done art shows down in Miami, and then
I first saw you in Red Dot.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I've been in. Thank you.
A couple years ago.
Yeah, a couple years ago, I've done Art Basel twice now. So, and I actually got the first year I got that because I showed in ArtServe, right around the corner here on Sunrise.
Awesome.
Another great art organization supporting local artists. ArtServe has been wonderful, very, very wonderful to me. And I did an installation. Actually, this piece behind me was one of the pieces in that show. And 4 days later, they reached out to me for Spectrum down in Miami. So I did Art Basel, and then I did it again this year. So it's been great.
If you are a local artist and you're looking for opportunities, and you haven't been to ArtServe or aren't familiar with ArtServe, definitely check it out. One last program that I'll mention there is Art as an Entrepreneur.
Yes.
AEI. A phenomenal program that Jim Shermer started many moons ago with support from my partner Andrew Martineau. It's a phenomenal toolkit of resources through I believe like a 6 or 8 week course.
It's 4 weeks. It's every June, and it's on Saturdays. It's a whole day on Saturday, and it's a very, very minimal cost for a ton of information. It was incredible for me. I took it in 2017. So I'm an AEI grad, and this year I am curating the DBA exhibit. Which is another great one. That's going to be in June also. And it's AEI grads, it's artists as Entrepreneurs Institute graduates get to show in the DBA exhibit.
DBA stands for
Doing Business as an Artist, right? Yeah. So the call to artists is still open. So any AEI grads in the past can still submit their art. And yeah, it's my first kind of foray into curating.
Phenomenal. It's all, I mean, you've obviously worked very hard to get to this point and, pursued education in art, which I give you a lot of credit for, and going to SCAD. And, but once again, not everybody has the opportunities or the resources to do those. So you're able to take advantage of a program like AEI and take advantage of all the things that ArtServe offers, a plethora of talks, event space, exhibition space. I think they do over 1,000 events a year. Much love and shout out to Sophie Bonet and Hal Axler and the new director Craig, and we're very excited actually for the next wave, the next generation of ArtServe with the new director.
Yes.
Much love to Jay Abate for her tenure. But it's an exciting time for local art. It's an exciting time for Broward. A few other things to look out for coming up here locally in the 954. We are still hosting the Choose954 Local Artist Discovery Series every Wednesday night at YOLO. It's a live art pop-up where we give the artist a canvas, easel, table. We don't charge them. We don't take a cut of their work. We market it, make a flyer, give a food tab. We've been doing that every week for the last 113 consecutive weeks. Plan on doing it for another 113. If you're a local artist, you want an opportunity, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm currently scheduling for July now. We're so glad to support So Far Sounds, who's celebrating their 2-year anniversary. Songs from a Room experience, very intimate listening experience where musicians come and play for a truly engaged audience in a location that's not announced or made public. You have to request access or RSVP. It's a very cool thing. We actually just have one in ArtServe. They give you the address like the day before if you're lucky enough to get in. Next episode of Raw Storytelling takes place the second Thursday night of every month. Cafe Collective downtown Fort Lauderdale. It's our version of the Moth. True Stories Untold, hosted by Edith Velasco, Witchcraft Branding, which normally takes place the night before AAF Creative Zen, which is the second Friday morning of every month for free as well, which is a monthly breakfast lecture series that I host with my partner Andrew for the creative community, but everybody's welcome, everybody's creative. We bring in a local entrepreneur, thought leader, yoga instructor, Zen guru, whoever, somebody has a thought-provoking, inspiring story. At a different venue, we provide coffee, breakfast, networking, inspiration, and all that good stuff. This next month, we have Flip Aguilera, the founder of Sweat Nation, speaking, which is actually going to be our 1-year anniversary at General Provision downtown in Fat Village, where we started 1 year ago. I unfortunately won't be there this month because I will be at the Venice Biennale for the opening, which is very exciting.
Now I'm really jealous. Wow, the Venice Biennale is a big deal.
It's a research and development trip. So
great.
We'll be back at Creative Zen in June. Very excited to have Quick the Poet, another local 954 native, phenomenal poet. I'm really excited for that one. Some really great speakers coming up after that. You can find all this on Choose954. Don't hesitate to reach out. Don't hesitate to connect and engage with your local creative community. Don't hesitate to come out to the ArtWalk. Come to the tour, 6 o'clock, Saturday night. We're also excited, last thing, to lead a new guided tour of the Hollywood ArtWalk, which takes place the third Saturday night of the month in downtown Hollywood. We're going to start it at the Information Center off of 20th and Hollywood Boulevard. There's a little park there. It's going to take place after the Downtown Hollywood Mural Project walking tour, which is another great free tour that Jill Weisberg, the curator and project manager, leads. There's 27 world-class murals in downtown Hollywood. They have a very great art walk, which has been going on for years now. And I'm going to take you around after Jill's tour, introduce you to local artists, some of the galleries, some of the vendors, some of the musicians. Come out, connect, engage, support local artists.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in the flip side and save the reefs.